You know that feeling, right? You're driving, you're in a hurry, and suddenly your path is blocked. It's so frustrating. But what if that little shortcut you see isn't a shortcut at all? What if, really, it's a trap?
So when you see one of these yellow barriers on the road, be honest, what's your first thought? Is it, really, now I'm gonna be late? Is it just an annoyance, just a thing in your way? Or is it maybe something more? Well, today we're gonna talk about one barrier and one tiny choice that changed absolutely everything. And this whole story starts with a guy that I think a lot of us can probably relate to. His name is Neel. He's 24 years old, and like most of us, he always seems to be in a rush.
Okay, so picture this. It's a Saturday night. Neil's driving near the riverfront and he runs right into this. The road ahead is completely sealed off by these big, heavy yellow barriers. You've seen this a million times, right? You usually just sigh and turn around. Now here's the kicker. To do the right thing, to follow the detour, Neel would have to drive an extra half-kilometer just to make a U-turn. A half-kilometer! I mean, it feels like forever when you're in a hurry. It feels like such a waste of time. So Neel glances around. No cops, no construction workers. It's quiet. And in that moment, impatience just wins. He decides, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own way. He actually gets out of the car, and with a bit of effort, he shoves a couple of those heavy barriers aside. Just enough for a car to slip through. And this is the really crucial part. He turns to his friends, laughs, and says, "There! A path for everyone now!" See? In his head, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He thought he was being smart, even helpful. He figured he just did everyone a favor. He had no clue what he'd actually just done. And this is where our story takes a really sharp, really dark turn. Because what Neel saw is just a harmless little shortcut, well, it was anything but. It's later that very same night. The gap that Neel created is still there. Just an open invitation sitting in the dark. And then, in a horrible, horrible twist of fate, riding his motorcycle down that exact same road is Neel's own younger brother. Now the thing is, he knew this road. He knew it was supposed to be blocked for construction. But then, he sees the opening, and his first thought is probably what yours would be. Oh, cool, the work must be done. The road's open again. So what does he do? He speeds up. But what he couldn't see, the reason those barriers were there in the first place, was a massive, deep pit that had been dug right across the road. That barrier wasn't just an obstacle, it was the only thing protecting people from driving straight into a hole. And then, impact. The source material uses this single, powerful Gujarati word, taram. It's the sound of a sudden, violent crash, a sickening thud you can almost feel. He plunged right into that pit. The force was so great, his helmet shattered on impact. He was left with incredibly severe injuries. The barrier Neel had moved was gone, and in an instant, so was his brother's safety. The physical cost of that moment was devastating, but the emotional cost, the true weight of that 2-minute shortcut, was about to come crashing down on Neel. Standing in that cold, quiet hospital hallway, the truth just hits Neel like a ton of bricks. The path he had so proudly cleared, the shortcut he made, was the direct reason his brother was in that hospital bed. His own actions did this to his own family. And this right here really says it all. To Neel, it was just an annoying obstacle, a complete waste of time. But what it really was, a life-saving shield. It was his brother's last wall of defense, and he took it down. So here's the big lesson, right? It's all about perspective. A safety barrier isn't there to block your freedom. It's a shield. It's put there specifically to protect all of us from dangers we literally cannot see. And they are never, ever placed randomly. Every single one has a critical purpose. It could be a deep pit in the road, like in this story, or unstable work on a bridge, or even just to manage traffic to prevent a head-on collision. There is always a reason. And that's why messing with them, moving them, damaging them, it's not some cool act of rebellion. It isn't clever. It's just a deeply irresponsible act that puts innocent lives, maybe even the lives of people you love, directly in harm's way. And if you remember just one thing from this whole story, let it be this incredibly powerful line from the source material. A 2-minute shortcut can bring a lifelong cut, a wound that might never, ever heal. Seriously, think about it. I bet you've seen it.
someone nudging one with their car to get a parking spot, or just pushing one aside to get through. After hearing Neel's story, does that scene look a little different to you now?
So the final question is really for all of us. Are we ready to start seeing these barriers not as obstacles, but as the silent protectors that they actually are? Are we ready to trust that they're there for a good reason, and by leaving them alone, we're actually protecting each other? It's something we should all think about.
एक कदम विकसित भारत की ओर।